Hi everybody, welcome to Flip the Deck Tarot. In today's pick a card reading, we are going to be looking at how the person on your mind feels about you right now. So we're going to get in really deep looking at their feelings about this connection right now and what energies they're going to bring to this connection in the future. So I have 4 piles for you to pick from. On pile number 1, we have this raw rose quartz. Pile number 2, this polished carnelian. Pile number 3, a polished blue calcite. And pile number 4, a raw piece of red calcite. So hopefully these stones can help you pick which pile is for you. Take as much time as you need. Pause the video if you need to look at the stones closer to make your selection. I will put your timestamps in the description box down below, and I will see you in your reading. Hi Group 1, if you picked the rose quartz, this is your reading all about how the person on your mind is feeling about you right now. So let's get started. The first thing I want to do is kind of look at the energies that are existing in this connection right now. So we're going to look at this in a person A, person B style. I won't tell you which one you are. I'll let you decide which side you resonate with. You may find that you resonate with energies that are happening on both sides of the equation, and that's perfectly fine and normal, and a lot of times it just means that you and the person that you're thinking about have a lot in common in the way that you're thinking or the way that you're feeling about the connection. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, for person A, we have the moon. And for person B, we have the lovers. Okay. So let's first just kind of scrape the surface a little bit and get an idea of who we're dealing with here, who person A and person B is. So right off, person A, with this moon energy, the moon card is number 18, and that reduces to a 7. So 7s have us focus on reflection, on discovery, on spirituality, inner wisdom, intuition. So this person is most likely very reflective. They might keep to themselves a little bit. They might kind of be a little bit, it might be difficult for them to open up. So they're really giving me a feeling of privacy. This person likes to keep things close to their heart and kind of keep to themselves a little bit. They aren't somebody to just easily open up to those around them. I also am picking up on that this moon person really might struggle with having a lot of negative thoughts. So they're kind of just giving me a feeling of somebody who kind of goes deep within, goes into their head a lot, and can struggle with what's going on in their head. And it's almost like it's this dark, not that their thoughts are dark necessarily, but it's almost like the place in their head and the thoughts that they, that run through their head, they kind of keep that so private. It's almost like they go into a dark space and review and mull over and explore kind of this more hidden side of themselves, and it's something that they do in private. So this is somebody who's very contemplative. They think a lot. They go over the events of the day, the events of maybe even this connection. They go over and over and over this in their head a lot, but they do this almost in secret is kind of what I want to say. It's not that they're trying to keep it a secret. It's just that they are so private, and this connection especially is something that they view as very private, and they will kind of explore this connection and their thoughts about it on their own. They're not somebody who's going to open up and talk to a lot of people about this. This isn't somebody who's probably getting advice from their friends or their family members. They kind of just contemplate and go into a real headspace about this connection, and probably about most things in their life. This is somebody who definitely looks at the shadows. So they're willing to look at the dark side of things. They're willing to look at the things that are uncomfortable about life and kind of go there. And what it does is it helps them improve. So they are really about self-improvement. It might not be something that people around them know, because a lot of this goes on in their minds, but there's somebody who's really, they're contemplating, they're always looking in the shadows for like the work that needs to be done. So they're not somebody who, like, other people have to bring up to them some of the darker aspects of their personality or things that they could really work on and improve. They're likely to do this work on their own. They're likely to be harder on themselves than anybody would ever be on them, and always be kind of exploring and almost like pulling back the layers, pulling back the curtains, pulling back. I have an image of like, let's say a room that's full of clutter. This is the person who goes around that room and lifts up pieces of furniture and looks to see what's beneath them, where other people might just say, well, who cares if that's underneath that table? Nobody can see it anyway. This person definitely will do the work to uncover the little bits and pieces that might need to be cleaned up, that might need to be improved. So in that way, they're very interested in healing and self-discovery, and bringing light, shining light in some of those darker places. They're interested in doing a lot of the harder work that people tend to avoid. This person will do these things willingly. And there is kind of a bit of a darkness that comes along with this. There's like almost a sadness. I don't know that this person necessarily feels sad, but that's kind of the feeling that comes over me. It's maybe a loneliness is a better word. It feels like a lonely place to be. It's somewhere that they choose to go and that they willingly go, and they go there very often, but it can feel kind of lonely to be doing all this self-discovery and to be thinking things through without the support of others. Even though this is what they choose to do, it can just feel lonely, and like they're kind of walking this path alone a lot of the times. So the self-discovery and self-improvement is super important to this moon person. They are very analytical and in their heads a lot. Definitely. I think also this person can have a tendency to beat themselves up a little bit. Like I said, they're harder on themselves than anybody else would be. So when they find something, you know, in the corner, something that could have easily been covered up, they will sometimes beat themselves up about the fact that it was present in the first place. So I think that this is an aspect of this moon person that a lot of people close to them might not even be aware of. They might not be aware of what goes on in this person's head, and just how much goes on there, and how much they really can just be their own toughest critic. I think a lot of people don't know that. So on the surface, they may not appear to be quite as emotional as they are, but this is definitely an emotional person. I forgot to mention the moon card. This is Pisces energy here, and the lovers, this is Gemini energy. So we are dealing with Pisces energy, and Pisces energy can be quite emotional, and sometimes in some ways extreme when it comes to the level of emotion and compassion that Pisces can feel or can draw into our existence. So this is somebody who is really really emotional, but I just don't get the feeling that they lead with this emotion very much or very often. They will lead as a more analytical person. They will lead as very logical, and they are very logical, but they have this deep emotional side to them, and this just really deep contemplative side to them as well that most people probably don't see. They probably don't have insight when it comes to that aspect of this moon person. I think also when it comes to how hard this person can be on themselves, I think they don't realize how far they've come, and they really don't give themselves a lot of credit. And that really feeds into that critical side of their brain that wants to kind of analyze and find all of the ways that it could have been better and they could have done better. Let's see. Getting into the Lovers person a little bit, and then we'll talk about the connection between them. So again, Lovers, Gemini energy, number 6. So number 6 brings harmony. It's a perfect number. It brings stability. So there is definitely a little bit more of a grounded feeling coming from this Lovers person. This person is highly spiritually evolved. I want to say maybe more evolved than the moon person, but I don't think that that's really true. I think that it's a matter of how these people express their spirituality. I think the Lovers person is more open about their spirituality, more openly evolved than the moon person. So the Lovers person is more likely to share some of their spiritual experiences, open up to people a little bit easier, maybe get involved with groups of people who are like-minded. They're really more comfortable in their spiritual evolution than the moon person is. And it's not really because this moon person chooses to not be comfortable with this spirituality. It's just more that they're very private about it. To them, it's a very private journey. I also think from this Lovers person, this person has a little bit more of a decisive nature to them than the moon person does. It's not that the moon person can't make a decision about anything, but they are more likely to kind of like wobble in their minds about something before just going forward. And the Lovers person, especially when it comes to this connection I'm picking up on, is much more decisive and is much more ready to bring the connection into existence and to really ground into this connection. So really the energies here, like from the Lovers person, I get more of it's not just a grounded energy, it's more of like a visceral energy. It's like they're more in their bodies and more feeling their way through everything that they do. So they're operating from a place of really settling down into their bodies and intuitively moving through the world. The moon person has this aspect about them. They have the ability to do that, but they really will be in their heads a lot more, and that will inhibit this ability to be as decisive and to be as intuitive and feeling as this Lovers person is. So also from this Lovers person, I feel like they know what they want. That comes with decisiveness, but that also helps them to be more decisive. The Lovers person is not as afraid to say what they want or to explore those feelings within themselves. They know exactly what they want. That helps them to be able to move forward when it comes to this connection or life in general. There's somebody who, like, when they know, they know. And there's really no telling them otherwise. They know. I think also with this person, they see the potential in every situation. So one thing that is kind of apparent here is just the opposite energies. I feel like there's a really warm energy coming from the Lovers person, and a not cold but a cooler energy coming from the moon person. I think that this Lovers person really, they can kind of see the bright side of things more often and not get caught up in their head, in their mind, quite as much as the Moon person does. They can see the bright side, they can see the potential. And I think that really speaks to the connection too. I think this Lovers person really sees the potential in this connection. And it's not that the Moon person doesn't, but for the Lovers person to have seen that connection really means something to them. It really means this can work because I see the potential here. I see how this could be good. Like, sure, I see the problems, I see both sides of it, but because that potential has been identified, they're more decisive about moving forward with it because they saw the potential there. I think they tend to see the best in people and in situations more so than the Moon person. And truly, just as the name says, this person is a lover. They're a lover at heart. They're a sweet, kind individual. The Moon person is as well. But this isn't something that they're going to wear on their sleeve quite as much as the Lovers person. The Lovers person is just very warm and very compassionate and probably just like a ray of sunlight to a lot of people, kind of an uplifting energy. So somebody who really draws people in and connects with them on a deep feeling level. Like we were talking about, this person kind of drops into their body. They kind of feel their way through things. That's the energy that I'm picking up on for this Lovers person. And really a strong, like, potential. Like, for example, this Lovers person, if they were going to move into a place together, let's say, the Lovers person, even if this place was a total fixer-upper and it wasn't perfect, this Lovers person can see the vision. Like, they can see it could be so great. Like, all we have to do is paint this wall or put furniture right here, cover this spot up. Like, it'll be fine, we'll be great. And the Moon person will be kind of like mulling it over in their mind, maybe even for too long. Like, maybe now the place isn't available because they thought about it too much, because they were thinking about all the details of it. And the Lovers person is just kind of feeling their way through it. So definitely they see the potential in every situation and are really positive. They manage to remain positive most of the time. And I think that, like, they are also very practical because they can see ways to improve situations. They can come up with reasonable suggestions that will make situations work and kind of work around problems. So in that way, the Moon person and the Lovers person, they have that in common. Like, they have the ability to analyze situations and to come up with reasonable solutions to problems. I think just their approach and how positive they're going to be about any given scenario is where they're going to find their differences. But really, they both do have this ability to be very, very practical about how to approach matters of life in general. This Lovers person is definitely devoted. Definitely, once they set their mind to something or to someone, they are going to stick with it. Definitely. Okay, let's talk a little bit about the connection between the two. So with this Moon energy here, I am getting the feeling that there is like a longing. So this Moon person, they long for the Lovers person. And for some reason, I'm picking up on this vibe of, like, they feel powerless here. They feel like there's nothing that they can do, but almost like they feel like a literal tugging in their heart toward this Lovers person. And just for some reason feel a bit helpless in the situation. And I'm not really sure why. I think that probably goes back to all of the activity that goes on in their minds, because I really am sensing an openness from the Lovers person. So I don't know why this Moon person would feel like they have to long for the lover's person, like they can't get to the lover's person. But they definitely have this this kind of energy. I think it really just goes back to that lonely place that their minds can take them sometimes, and how hard they can be on themselves. In that lonely place where they are analyzing every situation and they're just there by themselves, going over the details, maybe even going over the problems, maybe a conflict or an obstacle to the connection. They just can't, sometimes they can't see how it can work, whereas the lover's person can always see how it can work. And there's definitely just this longing feeling coming from the moon person, wanting to be close to the lover's person, wanting to connect more deeply with the lover's person, and just feeling like they're powerless to make that happen. I think for this moon person, there was a distinct moment. There was some kind of event. Definitely one particular trigger moment that really kind of woke them up to how much they need this lover's person. And I think that that moment scared the crap out of them. I don't know how else to say that. I think this person is somebody who's very self-sufficient, and that's why they tend to deal with their problems alone. They tend to go into their dark, quiet place and kind of figure out and think their way through things. So they are so used to relying on themselves and just themselves. And there was a moment where they really realized that they actually needed this person, this lover's person, that they needed them, that their heart needed them. And I think that really freaked them out, because they're not somebody who would ever admit to needing anyone. And in fact, until they met the lover's person, they did not even think that that was possible. They didn't think that they could ever actually feel like they needed another person in their life. Like they could not go on without that person being close to them. I think that because they're so used to depending on themselves, and because they felt a certain amount of dependency as soon as they felt that feeling toward the lover's person, it made them pull away. They felt so vulnerable feeling that it caused them to pull back from the connection. So for some of you, that could be complete loss of contact. For others, it could be just a moment in the relationship where you feel like things just kind of went cold and you're not quite sure what happened. Or if you are the moon person and you did that, then this is like, that's kind of why. It's like this vulnerable feeling that just makes you feel like I think this moon person wants to be strong. Like they want to appear strong. And feeling like they need the lover's person makes them feel weak and vulnerable. Yeah, I think that they feel a bit too exposed. Like in this image, the way that this person, she's standing here with her arms open, wide, really exposed. And I think that exposed feeling makes this moon person feel so vulnerable. And they're not comfortable with that at all. Not at all. So, okay, moving on to the lovers. Really a distinct difference in how I'm feeling like these people approach this connection is that this moon person really, it feels like they almost wallow in the present moment, or even sometimes things that have happened in the past. They're very stuck there. And this Lovers person is very much focused on the future, very much focused on how this connection could move forward, on how it could work, on how obstacles could be overcome. And that's difficult for the moon person to do. The moon person might be just kind of like going over a conversation in their minds that just happened, and not so much thinking about, well, how can we move forward from that? So they're, in some ways, they give me kind of this feeling of drowning in worry and in fear around this connection. I think that the Lovers person really sees that these two people can be better together. They can be stronger together. And because of that, no matter what obstacles they're facing or what problems there might be showing themselves in this connection, this person ultimately knows that they're going to be stronger together, and this union is going to make them better, both individually and then as a unit. So that's what this person is looking forward to and is excited about. Definitely. I'm just like really picking up on this guarded feeling from this moon person. They want to guard their heart so much, and just the strength of this connection and just what they felt for the Lovers person, it's like taking off the armor that was covering their heart, and now they just feel completely exposed. Totally exposed. So I do feel like this Lovers person really feels like the stable part of this relationship, probably feels like the rock of the relationship. Like at a lot of times probably feels like they're holding the entire thing together because because they can see the potential, and because they believe, and they're going to continue to believe in this. So yeah, they probably kind of sometimes feel like they're doing it all by themselves. Okay, I want to jump into, I feel like that's, we've been talking about this a lot, but we have a lot of oracle cards to go through. So let's kind of get some more stuff out on the table and see what is going on. So for person number one, we have protection. Oh, you guys. For person number two, we have success. Okay. This protection card, this is what we're talking about with this moon person. They are extremely guarded, and what they're trying to do in this connection right now is protect themselves. They're trying to protect their heart. They just felt so exposed by this Lovers person, and it's really kind of sweet because the feelings here are extremely intense. The longing and the yearning for this Lovers person, extremely intense. But it has also triggered this desire for the moon person to kind of like clam up and want to protect themselves a little bit. So not even a little bit. I think that's a lot. I think they really feel a need to like cover up. It's like they feel too exposed to this Lovers person. They feel way too exposed, and it's nothing that the Lovers person did wrong. In fact, they did everything so right that they made this person really realize that a connection could be for them, like that they could actually be in something so deep and so meaningful that they feel like they need the other person. The success card coming out for the Lovers, I really think that this is like talking about this person's ability to always see how it's going to work. Like, I think that these two people could look at the same situation and one of them gets scared and the other one thinks this could be great. Like, this could work. They see success. They see the future. They see the path, and they're excited about it. Okay, let's go deeper. More oracle cards. For person number one, we have, oh my gosh, you kidding me? protection. Again, that is total confirmation. This person is extremely guarded and they are trying to protect themselves. So this says call back your power, cut the cords, and soul retrieval. So in this case, I think that the power, it's basically like they are giving their fear too much power over this connection, and they need to call back their power so that they can open up to like what's unfolding here. And the cords that need to be cut, I mean, I think those are the cords to fear and just to feeling like they have to be alone and like they have to protect themselves. They are going to, yeah. Calling back their power really means taking control of the situation and not letting fear lead. They've been maybe letting fear like drive the car for a little bit too long. And see in this image, this crossed arm stance that all of these figures have taken. That's kind of like what this person did. As soon as they felt like, oh crap, this is something serious, they kind of like cross their arms like that. They use their fear as a bit of a shield to protect themselves from what they were feeling. Let's look at what we have for person number 2. We have Akasha. Your guidance is divinely guided. Okay. So I think this Lovers person probably already knows this. They are deeply connected, and basically this success that they see, this this way that they know this is going to work, even though they're dealing with somebody who has a lot of fear about this connection, it's basically like, you're right on. You're right on about that. That success that you see, it's not in your head. It's not made up. You are correct about it. You are being divinely guided when it comes to this connection. So for the Lovers person, they know this is right. Like they already know. And I feel like that's what they express to the Moon person, or that's what they try to express. If they have an opportunity to express it, they try to express to them that this is right, that this can work, and what opportunities there are here. And sometimes maybe they feel like they get through, and other times not. Wow, you guys. Okay, 2 more oracle cards. So for person number 1, we got a nostalgia card, and this is fun shaped nuggets. These cards crack me up. And for person number 2, we got a color, and it's minimalistic white, or minimalist white. Okay. So, okay, any of the nostalgia cards in this deck really just, you know, are just like it sounds. It's about kind of taking us back to fond memories that we have probably of our childhood. So really, this Moon person, as serious as they can be, like they are so deeply contemplative and really really focused, and sometimes kind of an intense energy. Being around the Lovers person makes them feel like a kid again. It makes them feel playful. It makes them feel like they want to use their imagination. Like they do, you know what I like. They might not let the Lovers person know, but they do. They use their imagination all the time when it comes to this connection. They are dreaming about and wishing for the Lovers person all the time. And really just being around the Lovers person like brought out all of this creativity and like this imaginative nature about the Moon person that they haven't even dealt with since they were kids. So the connection's very special to this person. It's maybe not something that they will express or communicate about so easily, not as easily as the Lovers person, but it's very, very special, and it feels almost like it kind of like woke them up in a way, like activated things inside of them that they haven't known, they haven't thought about since childhood. Wow, you guys. Okay, on the Lovers person side, minimalist white, I really think that this, if you see this image, it's just like a blank room kind of, and just like all monotone. And to me, this is like how this lovers person sees, because what this card really means is like it's essential, like something that's just essential, that's just basic. It's just like you just have to have it. It just is what it is. And I feel like that's how the lovers person views this connection. Like this is just essential, and it's just basic, and it's just like of course this would be, of course we would be together. It seems like it is a given as far as this person is concerned. I think it's very clear to them. It's very cut and dry. They don't need a lot of frill, a lot of fluff in order to explain this, or in order to like believe that this connection is and should be. It's very straightforward to them. It's very straightforward, and it is also very essential, and they don't have a problem admitting that, where the moon person might have a little bit of a hesitant feeling when it comes to admitting how essential, how this connection must absolutely be, because both of these people feel that way about each other. They just feel like this has to happen, this has to be. But there's just a little bit more resistance coming from this side. This person is very protected and very guarded. Okay, I'm going to get these oracle cards out of here. I will leave these two tarot cards here so we can kind of remember who person A and person B is, but we're really just going to talk now about your person, and we'll just get into some tarot. So whichever side you resonated with, maybe both, quite possibly both. I feel like shuffling was so loud. Okay, we're going to now look into what your person, oh wow, what they want out of this connection. So let's see what this person wants out of this connection. Okay, we have the Eight of Swords, Judgment. Let me get one more card. Oh wow. And the Nine of Pentacles. Okay. So right off, I mean, my eye goes right to this Judgment card. This person that you have on your mind, they want to stop feeling absolutely trapped and restricted when it comes to you, because that's how they've been feeling, like they can't express themselves. And this is really something coming from inside of them. This is coming from just some work that they need to do. This isn't anything that you have done to make them feel like this. It's just so hard for them to open up and to not want to guard their hearts like crazy. So this Eight of Swords feeling is really how this person's been feeling. The Judgment card is like the truth. Like they want to communicate with you. They want to express to you exactly how they feel and exactly how important this connection is to them. And then ultimately they want this this Nine of Pentacles with you. Nine of Pentacles is a really indulgent kind of feeling, and it's kind of like the feeling of having so much, like so much abundance. And I won't say having it all, because the Ten of Pentacles is more like having it all. This is one step before that, but there is this part of them that wants to indulge in this connection. They want to be selfish. They want to be self-indulgent. They want to just connect with you the way that they are dreaming of. But it's almost like Judgment's going to be the key Judgment's going to be the thing that allows this Nine of Pentacles to happen. It's also the hurdle. That's like the big mountain standing between this Eight of Swords and this Nine of Pentacles energy. Huge mountain of letting the truth be known. Okay, I want to look at what energy they're going to be bringing to this connection. So what energy will your person bring to this connection going forward? Oh, wow. Whoa, whoa. Okay. Your cards are flying out. Okay, we have the Strength card. Let's move these up. Strength card. The King of Wands. And the Ace of Wands. This is, this is all good news. Your person's going to be finding that courage, that inner strength to come forward and to express a lot more than they've been doing. So for some of you, there might be some level of expression. For others of you, it could just be crickets from this person. Like, as protected as they felt they needed to be, like we saw with these cards here, 2 protection cards coming out to tell you just how guarded this person is. It's going to take something to kind of break that wall down and remove that armor, but they've got it in them. King of Wands energy, very direct, very passionate, and not a slow energy at all. So this person's going to be coming forward. The energy that they're going to bring to this connection now is something a lot more fast moving and less stagnant than what it has felt like up until this point. They are going to be really, I want to say, like, pursuing more, and they may have been doing that at one point, but once they got freaked out, I do think like the energy shifted there, but there's definitely more of an energy of pursuit here. And then this Ace of Wands coming out, you guys. This Ace of Wands just marks this new beginning for you. So I think when they find this strength, it's basically strength for this, strength for this. So the way that these cards laid out, it's perfect, because the energy that they're going to bring to this relationship is actually what's going to allow this all to take place. The energy, they're going to have a shift, and the energy that they bring is what's going to get them out of this Eight of Swords and into this Nine of Pentacles. So this is just definitely something that happens within them. It's a shift. It's a dropping of the need to protect themselves so much, and then it's just like all new beginnings and smooth sailing. And I must say that this connection is going to be quite passionate, and that this person's approach to you is going to be quite passionate. So for some of you, it might seem like somebody turned off the cold water and turned on the hot, and you're like, what the heck happened? But don't worry about it. Like, just don't, because this is what they wanted to do. This is what they wanted to express, and they've been too afraid. And they're definitely going to grow in some way, something very internal. They're going to grow, and they're going to be coming forward. And I think you're not going to feel like you have to facilitate this connection as much as you may have felt before, because you've got King of Wands energy coming at you. So this is definitely a very confident, straightforward, straight to the point, like almost like a show-offy type of nature to the wands. The king is very sure of himself, and like he's not going to be as much of a show-off, but there's something with the King of Wands, that there's something with just wands energy that like gives me this feeling of flaunting something. So this person's definitely going to be pursuing you in a new way, and they want to start over in a lot of ways. Like they want to start over in a less guarded way with you. Okay, you guys, I'm going to leave the reading here because Wow, this is long. So I hope you enjoyed this reading. If any of this resonated for you, please leave me a comment down below and let me know. I love chatting with you guys in the comments and just seeing like how this lines up in your life. If you liked this video, don't forget to subscribe if you feel like doing that, and give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you in your next reading. Bye. Hi Group 2, if you picked this carnelian, this is your reading all about how your person is feeling about you right now. We are going to just jump in to kind of a person A, person B type spread. I'm not going to tell you which energy is supposed to represent you and which energy is supposed to represent your person. I can let you just decide which side you resonate with, and you might find that you resonate with something on each side, and that usually just means that you and the person on your mind are having a lot of the same types of thoughts and feelings, so that's totally normal and to be expected. So let's jump right in and see what we have. Okay, so for person A, we have Justice, and for person B, we have the Devil. Okay. Now don't freak out about that. That doesn't mean that either one of you are evil people or anything like that. We're going to get into like what that means and kind of like what energy comes through. So let's start with the Justice person. So the Justice is Libra energy, a balanced energy. And this is card number 11. So that reduces to a 2. 2s talk about balance. They talk about harmony, about consideration, like weighing options sometimes. And they also talk about love. So this Justice person is probably a very loving person, a very love-focused person. Now, I do think this is interesting because the energy I'm getting off of this Justice person is really that they are extremely logical. At least they lead with this logical side of themselves. So just the fact that they have this this loving nature and this kind of like tender part of their heart, it's just interesting energy to note, because it might not be something that that people generally think about them. So this is somebody who just leads with so much logic, and they're so practical and so reasonable, and sometimes can seem maybe even a little bit harsh. So people aren't those around them probably don't think like, oh, you're just a softie, because they don't come off as a softie at all. But I think deep down they really are. This Justice person is definitely a very giving person. Like, they will give the shirt off of their back to anyone, and especially to those who they care about, somebody that they're close to. They will give and give and give, sometimes maybe to their detriment, but they will give, and they will make sure that the people that they care about and the people that they are closest to have everything that they need. It's like, that's something very important to this person, to kind of take care of everyone and to just make sure everybody's comfortable. This is definitely a person who gets along with everybody, who can get along with a lot of different people. In fact, I really see them like playing this role of like, what do I want to call it? I almost want to call it like a bridge, but basically like the person in a family or in a friend group who's like the one person that everybody in the family or all the friends talk to. They all go to this person for advice, or when they're having a conflict with someone else. And sometimes even when like certain family members or certain friends aren't speaking to each other, they always talk to the Justice person. Like, they're the one that's in contact with everyone, even when some people won't speak to each other. So in this way, they have this energy about them where they always try to smooth situations over. They try to bring peace and harmony to situations, try to like balance things out. For using that Libra energy, they try to like see both sides of things and like reach some kind of harmonious middle ground. That's just their nature. So this can, of course, sometimes get them like kind of caught up in other people's drama and being left to sort through things and just trying to like mend things all the time. It can be exhausting, but I think it just comes so naturally to this justice person. They just kind of want everybody to get along all the time. One thing I will say about this justice energy, this can be in some ways, sometimes this justice person can be judgmental. They can either feel that they are being judgmental, or other people can see them as judgmental. They probably aren't judgmental, really, but just the way that they come off, the way that they're pretty straightforward and communicate a lot, it can seem sometimes like they are judgmental. I think where this gets in this person's way is that they want to like make a judgment, like they want to decide about things. Things being left undecided or unclear in their lives is a place where this person feels very uncomfortable. So they might in some ways be quick to pass judgment. And I don't mean like to be critical of other people, but they'll be quick to come to a decision a lot of the time. They want to decide about how they feel about something, or just what is true, and just let that like be the fact, let it be the law, let it be the rule. And in the absence of those facts, in the absence of like the ability to do that, sometimes this justice person can jump to conclusions and kind of create facts where there are none, and make a judgment like too soon. I think it just makes them very anxious to not like know the answer, to not have the conclusion already in line, like in their minds mapped out. And that can just cause them to kind of make up for themselves what the answer to an unsolved question could be. And in that way, they can assume the worst sometimes. So I think that with this person, when someone is not communicating with them, and they're very communicative, so when they aren't receiving that communication, they can jump to worst case scenario as a form of a reasonable conclusion. So I definitely think this is somebody who, like, in a relationship they want an equal partner. They want that give and take. They want to bring balance to their relationships. And I think this person's been in relationships and connections before where they did not feel like they were getting out what they were putting in. Like, they just didn't think that it was, they feel like they give too much sometimes, like that they've given way more than they were ever going to get. And then at the end, they're just kind of left used up. It doesn't seem to stop this person. Like, I don't get the feeling that they drag that into future relationships. They kind of like start brand new, and they will be just as open and giving each time, or in each scenario. It doesn't even have to be in a romantic connection. They're just very giving when it comes to friends, family members, people who are close to them. And sometimes they feel like they don't get out what they put in. So they definitely are approaching this connection as wanting to bring balance, wanting it to be an equal give and take. That's something that's really important to this justice person. Okay, let's move into this devil energy a little bit. This is Capricorn energy here, so an earth energy. The devil card is number 15, and that reduces down to a 6. So 6s talk about harmony, stability. And I also want to point out that the Lover's card is number 6 in the deck. So this actually reduces down to the same number as the Lover's card. And in a lot of ways, the Lover's card and the Devil card are just opposite sides of the same coin. If you look in a traditional deck, the imagery is much the same on the Lover's and the Devil card. So there's a lot of similarities there. And that does let me know that the Devil person, they're a very loving person. Like, they've got two sides to them. They've got a really loving side, and they've got, it's not that it's an evil side, but I think it's a side that they might be a little bit afraid of. So let's just talk about in general, like, kind of who this person is. This person is definitely a very committed person. When they set their mind to something, or when they start out on something, they're going to stick with it. They don't just leave things undone, leave things half finished. They stick with it. And everything that they do is filled with a lot of drive and a lot of passion. In some ways, they can seem almost addicted to things that they've committed to, because that's just how focused they will be on those things, and how driven they will be to bring things to completion. So to bring projects to completion. They can be like, they can have a singular focus a lot of the time to really finish something, to really wrap something up. So very dedicated, very committed person. I do also think, let me just say this though, before I get into that. This sort of is touching on the connection, and we haven't really gone there, but I will say this Justice person is incredibly drawn to the Devil person's energy, their enthusiasm, their passion. Like, that's something that they love about them, that dedication and that focus. They just make everything seem like it's really fun, and like it's they're so passionate, and their passion is contagious, basically. And this Justice person definitely picks up on that and loves that about this Devil person. I think that even though this Devil person, even though they can be a very positive force in terms of when you think about completing things and bringing things to completion, to fruition, being dedicated, being devoted, that these are all very positive qualities, and they really will stick to things. But then there's this other side of them, this sort of darker side of them, and they, just like the Justice person, are prone to always think of the worst case scenario. So I think when it comes to this connection, there is this similarity here, and like beneath the surface, we have two people who are prone to jumping to the worst case in their minds. I don't know if these people are expressing that to each other. So you might not know that your person is having these same thoughts, is worrying about like, what if this and what if that, and always kind of going the negative way with their what ifs. But it's something that both people will tend to do. I think they do it for different reasons. I think the Devil is just prone to this. They are just they'll just do it. They'll just jump to the worst case scenario. And I think that the Justice person doesn't necessarily have to do that, but I think that the combination of these two people really brings this out in the Justice person, because this Devil person can sometimes be a little bit confusing to the Justice person, can be a bit absent, can be a bit reclusive. And like I was saying, the Justice person, in the absence of facts, will jump to a worst case scenario. They will jump to like, okay, I didn't hear from the person. They must not like me anymore. So this is over. Because they just have this, like this desire to say, like, to have the final word, to kind of like a judge does, like slam their gavel down. Like they want to make that final judgment. And it's really just coming from a place of not knowing makes them feel so insecure and so wobbly. And so I think this Devil person kind of brings out a bit of wobbliness with the Justice person. And I think that sometimes this relationship, this connection, drives this Justice person crazy, because outside of this person feels that they are very logical and like reasonable, and shouldn't be having just all of this internal turmoil going on, and shouldn't not be able to come to a conclusion like they always can. Like they can always come to a conclusion and find the final answer, the right answer, the fair thing. And the Devil person, they just, like, in some ways, I just cannot figure them out. So I just think like this justice person's ability to be logical in the presence of this devil is diminished, and it kind of like irks them that this person can get to them so much, can be on their mind all the time, can cause them to like not be able to just tap into that logical part of their brain and just logic their way out of it. They have not figured out how to logic their way out of this connection. I think that with the justice person also, there's like this extreme desire to just communicate, to express themselves, to be more open about how they feel about this connection. And it doesn't go anywhere with the devil person. Like they're not getting through to the devil person, or they're not able to find their ability to express, like they can't find their voice, which again I think is like an odd thing for this justice person to experience. But it's definitely like that's their goal in this, that's their desire, is to communicate about what's going on between the two of them. This is such an interesting dynamic, because in that way, in terms of communication, I feel this justice person feels a bit restricted by this connection. But in terms of the individuals here, this devil person makes justice want to really cut loose and be free and release all of their inhibitions. And that's how the devil person feels around the justice person as well. They feel more free, and they feel like they want to explore. Okay. I'll just say it. There is extreme sexual chemistry, attraction, desire in this connection, and especially coming from the devil person. I think that this feels extreme even for this person. And it's really causing them to rethink or to pull back or something. There is an extreme desire when we're just talking about letting go of inhibitions. I think that's something that the devil person is more accustomed to doing, and that's just something that justice loves about this devil. Like just kind of cutting loose a little bit. The devil can be a bit more carefree and experimental than justice, who's very reasonable, logical, level-headed. But at the same time, this passion and this want and this need to explore with justice kind of scares the devil a little bit, because I think even though they're used to this, they're not used to exactly what they feel about justice. So there is really like an extreme attraction here and an extreme sexual desire, urge to explore with the justice person. So depending on like what is going on in this connection, if this is a relationship that has already reached that level, then, well, you'll know what I'm talking about no matter which side of this you resonate with, because this is like a bomb went off when the two of these people come together. So the devil person has this on their mind all the time, and they're well aware that like no one has ever satisfied them like this justice person. And if they haven't actually connected in that way yet, they are just so sure that no one will ever satisfy them like this justice person. And that, I think that is pretty terrifying for them. Either something they've experienced and they almost feel like I cannot do that again, or like every time I do that, I lose a little bit of myself. I am so connected and so attached to this person. Or it's just something that they know would happen, because there's definite fantasies going on here on the devil person side. They are extremely in their fantasy world about justice. They are, it's, wow. I wish you could just see inside my brain right now, because that would be worth 1,000 words right now, and I'm trying to keep this somewhat PG, but let's just say the devil person has a very vivid imagination, and that imagination goes to some pretty adventurous and dirty places. Like, these fantasies get quite hot. Quite hot. So there's definite chemistry here. I think both people feel it. I think the devil person really feels it. I think they feel that urge that they have to be committed and to see things through. They feel that coming through for Justice, but at the same time, it's like, I don't know that they expected this kind of connection. So the idea that it became something so serious for them and something so passionate is like a bit overwhelming. I get this feeling from the devil person that they feel like they need to resist Justice for some reason. Now, that would be different in every connection, but there is this feeling that like they feel this this pull towards them, this very passionate. I mean, I think it's more than just that, but definitely Justice is on their mind a lot and in a very, very passionate way. And they feel like they should be resisting Justice for some reason. For some of you, I mean, I really don't know. I don't know why the devil feels like they can't just be with Justice, especially because Justice wants to communicate. This could be a situation where there's something forbidden about this connection, some reason why the devil person thinks, and maybe the Justice person thinks it too, why they think it's not appropriate for us to be together, or it's not appropriate for me to feel this way about you. So maybe a work situation, maybe, yeah, I am kind of getting that feeling like there is something forbidden about it. So there could be a connection, friend connection, or an ex connect. Like, maybe this is somebody who your friend dated, or there's something here. If there's not a real reason why this devil person feels that they need to resist Justice, then you guys, I'm getting all tongue-tied, and I feel like that's how the devil feels around Justice. And I also feel like this is not a feeling that the devil gets all the time. I think this is somebody who's like pretty confident, maybe even a little bit cocky, like kind of like dripping in swagger type of person. And when they come across Justice, they go all fumbly. It's like the weirdest thing, because they never do that. And then like on this, like at the same time, this Justice person who's like, I can be logical, but I cannot be now. Like, I cannot be logical around the devil. It's something that these two people bring out in each other, like just bringing out this side of them that they don't associate with. Like, Justice thinks like, no, I am logical. Why am I acting like this? I am logical. Like, I don't even worry about being logical and being able to like come to a reasonable conclusion about things. I don't even worry about that, because that's something I naturally do. And the devil's like, I don't even worry about like having swag and being able to keep my cool around people. This could be somebody who like really dated a lot, who like kind of, you know, was out there a little bit and is not socially awkward at all. Like, this is somebody who people are drawn to, and they know it, and they're confident. They don't feel like that around Justice. They feel kind of like, like, I want to say like out of place, or like out of their skin. Like, they just feel off balance around Justice. And it's because they're just so, drawn to and enticed by, and just the things that they think. I think that's also what gets in the way for the devil, is like the things that they've thought about doing. This is going a whole different way, you guys. But yeah, I think it's like they have fantasies about justice all the time, and then when they see justice in person, or when they think about talking to this person, they get really shy and nervous because they're like, oh my gosh, if only you knew the things that were running through my mind. Oh my gosh, you guys are making me blush. I just think that this devil person doesn't feel like they really have the strength to resist justice. They just don't. And I don't know really why they feel that they need to, but there is some reason that they think they need to. It could be just a matter of feeling like justice is just too pure for them. Like they just don't even think that justice deserves almost like to be subjected to them. That is the weirdest thing. Yeah. I feel like that just yeah, I just heard that. I think that that is what the devil feels like, that they are almost like they would corrupt justice. That's so interesting. And I think that the reason that they're getting that is just because this isn't somebody who committed, like who's ever committed to a relationship. I think they commit to a lot of things that they do in life, and they bring a lot of passion to it. But when it comes to relationships, commitment isn't, they just don't think it's their strong suit. Whether they've done it before or not, they don't think it's their strong suit. And they think that justice deserves commitment. Like they deserve the ultimate commitment. And they're not sure that they can give that to them. So they feel like they need to resist. But at the same time, they know that they can't. Oh my gosh, you guys. Like, so justice, justice is frustrated, and I can just feel that, like, just coming out of the energy of the devil person, there's a level of kind of frustration. It's a whole different kind of frustration, though. When I kind of tap back into justice's energy, this is frustration out of confusion, out of there being blank spots that need to be filled in, out of the devil moving so slow. As far as justice is concerned, the devil is moving at an incredibly slow pace, and it's just frustrating because they just want to communicate and they just want to move things forward, and it seems like the devil's dragging their feet. Now, the devil is Capricorn energy, very grounded energy, so yeah, sometimes things will move kind of slow when it comes to Capricorn energy. But I think that maybe the justice person sees this as no movement. But if you knew what was going on, if the justice person knew what was going on in the devil's head, it's not no movement. There's a lot of movement, and there and there's a lot going on there. It's really an internal battle. It's this feeling of like, I need to resist this connection, and I know I can't at the same time. Okay. Wow. I feel like this, I feel like the devil sometimes feels like they can handle it. And so if this is a situation where the two of you don't talk very often, sometimes this devil person might feel like, I can handle it. I can resist. I'm going to reach out. I'm going to call. I'm going to send a text. I'm going to suggest that we meet up. I want to see justice. But when that happens, if they ever get that far, because again, they're going through this internal battle, if they ever get far enough to actually reach out, when these two come together, the devil realizes again, whoa, I cannot resist this. I can't hang out casually. I can't talk to this person casually. And they start to kind of panic. Yeah, panic. Oh man, you guys. I think that there is something here about commitment and about this devil person maybe just not feeling like they can offer the sort of commitment that justice needs, or wants, or maybe in the past they just don't think that they've been good at offering commitment. So there's a hesitation there. There's a slowing. Let's look into some of these oracle cards and see what else we can get. So for justice, we have abundance, And for the Devil, we have fulfillment. Okay. I really think that, like, with this abundance card, just tapping back into that energy of justice, just like wanting to give and give to everyone around them, everyone that they care about. I think that the Devil person sees this justice person as very abundant in terms of love, maybe in other ways, but it's like they see them as a never-ending source of exactly what they need. And I think the justice person knows this. Like, they at the same time think, I'm never gonna run out of love for the Devil person. I'm never gonna run out of love. Like, it's a never-ending supply here, and like they both know it. That might be a little bit of what's making the Devil hesitant, because if they don't feel like they can trust themselves and they feel like they're dealing with a person who is so pure and so loving and so giving and just such an endless flow of love and affection, and you know, they don't want to take advantage of it. They feel like they might, and I don't think that they will. I think that they aren't really they aren't focusing on all of the beautiful sides of themselves and everything that they can offer. I think that they're kind of telling themselves this story that they can't be in something committed, that that's not for them, that almost like they're not good enough for that, or like they don't qualify. That's the feeling I'm getting. Like they think that they don't meet the qualifications for something committed or for what this justice person deserves, and they just see what this person is giving as something so abundant and just like a never-ending flow. And they just like, they want to protect justice. It's like they want to protect justice from themselves. And I don't think justice really needs to be protected, but that's how they're feeling. This fulfillment card, this almost makes me sad, because this Devil person knows what's up. Like, they know how fulfilled they feel around justice. They know that they've never felt like this before. They know that they don't even want to resist justice, but at times they will still find themselves doing that. And it's sad, because it's like they know where their happiness is, and they don't feel like they deserve it to reach out and take it. That's really sad, you guys. For justice, we have get grounded, empaths, highly sensitives, connect with nature. That card coming out right next to the abundance card really just like, this abundance card just makes you want to connect with nature. So okay, so the justice person really might be highly empathic, and you know, that would really make sense with this giving nature. And like, when people can really sense and pick up on the energies around them, they can tend to be really caring, you know. So I think that this energy of justice always being in their head and being really confused and trying to be so logical, I think that what the justice person's guides are saying is really ground yourself and get into nature and kind of drop that energy down from that head energy down into your body. I think that this connection can make the justice person feel a bit untethered at times, and grounding would really help. I think this is mainly just confusion for justice that kind of makes things a little bit difficult, because they just don't even know like what the Devil person is doing. For the Devil, we have trust the niggle. So this is what is the niggling feeling trying to tell you? This is really just speaking to that Devil person's inner knowing about this connection. Like, we've already talked about it. They know what this is. They know how special this is. They know how rare this is. They know how important it is. They know how they feel about justice. And they will just try to deny it. They try to deny that, so it becomes like this card says, a niggle. It becomes like a nagging feeling. Like it's like this. I have the image of like this bird, like a little bird landing on someone's shoulder and chirping in their ear, and like they're trying to swat the bird away, and the bird keeps flying back and landing on their shoulder and chirping in their ear. That's what this desire and what this connection is kind of doing to the devil. As much as this devil person tries to deny it, they can't. And they feel like they just cannot resist it. So this card is really saying to the devil person, really pay more attention to what that feeling is trying to tell you, because it's worth listening to. And it's just a repeated message here with fulfillment, and then with this card to trust that nagging kind of feeling. Like it's just a repeated thing. And I just wonder, for the devil person, how many times have they been told, been guided, been shown, and they still try to resist. Okay, for our last two oracle cards for Justice person, we got an animal card, and it is Walrus. It's not focusing. And for the Devil person, we got a color, and it is Grandma Mauve, or Mauve, depending on how you pronounce that. These cards are hilarious. So the Walrus card really, like, it talks about just something loud and obnoxious. I hate I hate to think of walruses like that, poor things, but I think it's like, for this Justice person, some of those negative thoughts can get really loud, and they can be quite relentless and a little bit obnoxious. And it's funny because I think in this way these two are mirroring each other again, because I think a lot of what goes on in the devil person's head, it could be described that way too, loud and obnoxious. Like they're trying to play it off like it's just this subtle little like bird chirp, but like it's getting loud for them. It's getting really hard to ignore. So this card coming out on Justice's side, I think it's just it's really speaking to this need to ground. It's like this person needs to just get out of their head a little bit about this, and maybe be a little bit patient, because the devil person is kind of going through something. They're going through a real battle, and I just think that sometimes these thoughts, and sometimes being left wondering, and just the thoughts that go on in this Justice person's head, they get loud and they get obnoxious. So this person, like, they get grounded. That's the advice there, and that's why. This Grandma Mauve, kind of like, you know, a pinky color. This card really talks about comfort and caring and loving, and that is what the devil person feels around Justice. That's what Justice does. They make them feel all warm and cozy and sweet and loved up on. And you know, the way that, like, when you go see your grandma and she hugs you and she gives you fresh cookies. I mean, I don't know, but just that comforting feeling that you feel around somebody who just really is like a warm embrace. That's how the devil person feels about Justice, that fulfillment. And they know it. They know it, and they are trying really hard to deny it. So that's kind of the energy going on in this connection. Let's look at some tarot cards. I'm going to leave these two here so that we know who we're talking about. But let's look at some tarot cards to let's find out what your person wants to get out of this connection. And then we'll look at what energy they're going to bring to this connection. Okay. What does this person want to get out of this connection? Oh my gosh. You guys, that's too many cards. Oh, I guess I have a lot to say. Okay. Four of Wands. I was going to take 3 cards, but you guys have like 5 cards fall out. Four of Wands, the Nine of Swords, Judgment, that came out in pile 1, the High Priestess, oh my gosh, and the Ace of Cups. Okay, funny thing, pile 1's cards ended with an ace, different ace, but ended with an ace, and also had the Judgment card show up. Okay, what this person wants to get out of this connection is, I really hesitate to say it like this, but I mean, plain and simple, marriage. So if not marriage, a union, a committed union, like a marriage. That Four of Wands energy coming out. Yeah, there's like this definite feeling of this is actually like where they want to end up with you, and they want this new beginning in love with you. There is so much here, like the mental torment that we were talking about, this tug of war, this push and pull that's going on in this person's head, is this Nine of Swords energy. They cannot sleep. Like, they can't sleep because they're thinking about you. And honestly, sometimes they're fantasizing about you, and that's why they can't sleep, or that's what wakes them up. But there is this desire for the truth to come out here, for like the secrets to be known with this High Priestess energy. This person wants for you to know what is going on in their head. There's not a whole lot here about how they will communicate that. We can get that when we look into what energy they're going to bring to this connection, but they want to be able to like pull back the veil and just reveal to you what is going on in their head. But ultimately, this Ace of Cups here is a new beginning in love. So they want to start over with you. They want to maybe even, it might not be start over, they want to start, you know, because for some of you, this is a connection that like can't get off the ground because it's, there's something slow happening here. There's a lot of torment. There's a lot of Nine of Swords energy. So definitely they want love out of this connection. They want your love. Let's see what energy they will be bringing to this connection going forward. Okay, you guys. Okay. Let's get one more card. No, that's a group of cards. We just need one more card. Okay. Okay. Let's move all of this. So that we can see. Okay, we have the King of Swords, we have the Eight of Swords, and we have the Death card. Eight of Swords, again, I really think came out in group 1. So that might be a group worth watching for you. So we have a lot of swords energy here. I was just talking to you about communication, about like not being quite sure how this person was going to communicate this, but definitely communication. So I think there's going to be more of an energy of communication coming from your person, letting you know a little bit more about what's going on so that you won't be in the dark. They're definitely going to be breaking out of this restricted feeling and coming forward with logic, which I love because we were talking a lot about logic, and I think that there's a definite need for that. Like, I think in this connection it will be appreciated to be logical, to communicate clearly and straightforward. Like, there's so much unsaid here that some straightforward communication is going to be appreciated, and I think is really going to help. The Death card, this is a card of transformation, of rebirth. So the energy that this person is bringing to the connection is one of a lot of change. I think mainly is they're going to show up a lot differently than they have been. They're going to show up communicating more and really like expressing where they are and and the changes that they've made. And I don't think that it's going to be something that will leave you wondering, because we have all the swords energy here. And I just love that they came out in the what energy they're going to bring to this connection portion, because here, I mean, we did have some swords, but I'm like, I don't know how they're going to do this, but what they want to do is let you know how they feel. And then how they're going to do it is they're going to do it the most logical way. They're going to tell you, and they're going to show up changed. So, I mean, come on, that's great news. That is great news. I am going to leave this reading here. We had a whole lot going on here, a lot of passionate energy here. So when this communication starts coming through and the passion is revealed, please be sure to leave me a comment and let me know what's going on. If any of this resonated too, drop me a comment down below and let me know. I've been having so much fun hanging out with you guys in the comments. I love connecting with you. It just makes my day. If you liked this video, give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing if you feel like doing that. And I will see you in your next reading, group 2. Bye. Hi, group 3. If you chose the blue calcite, this is your reading all about how your person feels about you and your connection right now. So we're going to start out with kind of a person A, person B type spread. So we're going to look at the energies that are existing in your connection right now. I won't tell you which side you fall on. You can decide which side you resonate more with. You might find that you resonate with some elements of both sides, which is common, and it usually just means that you and the person that's on your mind have a lot of the same thoughts and feelings about this connection. So totally normal if you pick up a little bit of you on each side of this equation. So let's just jump in and see who is in this connection. So for person A, we have the Emperor. And for person B, we have the Chariot. Oh, interesting energy right off the bat. I can't help but just say right from the beginning, these are two very powerful people, two very successful, driven individuals. That is clear. So like, we're just right away seeing this, it's like fireworks just went off. Like there's something very intense and special about both of the people in this connection. So let's start with the Emperor. The Emperor is number 4. This is Aries energy, so fire energy. Speaking about that driven quality, this is a really strong, passionate, powerful energy coming from the Emperor card. The number 4 can talk about stability, support, and the focus on like building a strong foundation with things. Let's get into some more about the Emperor before I get into the Chariot. So this Emperor, the word that comes to mind, keeps coming to mind with this Emperor, is power. I think this person has some sort of power. It's almost like they have the power to get what they want. They're very, very driven, and that might be the power. That might be kind of what powers them, is their drive. But there's just this feeling of authority that comes from this Emperor person. This is somebody who is highly respected. I think they are a respectful person as well, but they are highly respected by those around them. So this person is like just giving me boss vibes. But to be honest, both of these people are giving me boss vibes. This Emperor may very literally be a boss. So they may have a lot of people who work under them in their professional life. They might be self-employed. They might be an entrepreneur, and in that way they are the boss. Yeah, definitely like a powerful energy coming through from this Emperor person. I also think that this person, like they say what they want, they say what they need. And as I'm saying that, I'm getting a little, like I want to talk a little bit about who these people are individually before I get into any elements of the connection. But, I'm saying that with a bit of a caveat. They say what they want, they say what they need. I'm really talking about in professional settings or just in other areas of life. I feel like they are, like, they boss up. Like, um, they're really about keeping their word, about doing what they said they were going to do. And there's like this feeling of like they're gonna win. This interesting energy, really powerful energy, and I can't even talk more about the Emperor until I jump over to this Chariot, because so much of what I'm saying I think is going to be mirrored with this Chariot person. So the Chariot, this is Cancer energy. A little bit more emotion coming through with that Cancer energy with the Chariot. The Chariot is number 7. Sevens talk about spirituality, about reflection, intuition, inner wisdom. So a lot of what I'm picking up on for the Emperor, I would say, is true for the Chariot person as well. Very driven, very successful. With the Chariot person, we can mix in a little bit of emotion here. I'm not saying the Emperor isn't emotional, but the Chariot person operates from a more emotional place, and from a more intuitive place, a more connected place. But both of these people are highly, highly successful, or they are on their way to becoming. These are the types of people who have big dreams. Both of these people have big dreams. They know that they are here for a reason, and they want to achieve, they want to accomplish. I feel like main differences between them is in the quest to accomplish all that they would like to, the Emperor might be a little bit more likely to put blinders on to certain aspects of life, and the Chariot person won't do that. The Chariot person desires to stay connected. So this person could be very driven, very successful professionally, very highly respected, but at the same time, they are not going to lose their emotional side in pursuit of everything else. The Emperor person may shut down some of their emotions in the process of doing all of this. They may not, but I am getting more of that energy from them that they would close off certain areas, and maybe not even purposely, but just because they can be so busy, they're so driven, they're so like eye on the prize type of person that they could, when it comes to emotional matters, not be quite as in touch, in tune with those parts of life. It's like they're not as intimately involved with emotions as they are with whatever this is that's driving them forward. For a lot of you, this Emperor person might be older, more mature, more well established, something like that. They don't have to actually be older, but there is kind of an energy of like a freshness, like maybe somebody who's just getting started in their professional life or in some aspect of their life with the Chariot person, somebody who's brimming with potential. And the Emperor gives me a little bit more of an established feeling. But these, I'm both highly successful, highly driven, and there's really a sense that like there's just a lot of purpose here to like with both of these people, a lot of like they're here for a reason to accomplish a certain thing. And they're both aware of this. That's the thing. Some people are not quite aware of this. These people seem to be aware of what they're trying to accomplish, and that's why they're able to kind of set their sights on it and achieve. So they're just highly impressive people, and they're highly impressed by each other. I do get a little bit more of a structured vibe from this Emperor person. So this is somebody who might play by the rules a little bit more. They may be more involved in traditional things, like in work. They may work in a more traditional setting, and this Chariot person may work in a more creative setting, or just in a setting that doesn't follow the traditional guidelines. And I think that's really important for the Chariot person. Like, they've got a little bit of a, it's not a wild side, because I think this person's very controlled and like I was saying, focused and driven. So there's a definite method to the madness, but I feel like they might be just a little bit more free-spirited in a way. So there could be a little bit of a pull, a tug of war when it comes to power in this connection, because these are both very powerful people. I do think that the Emperor probably exudes more of that power and probably exerts more of that power over this connection, but also just over everything that they do. Like, definite boss vibes coming from this person. They know what to do to be successful and to be in charge, and they don't hesitate to do it. I think this is somebody who's very focused on achieving. So is the Chariot person. I do feel that more heavily on the Emperor side, that achieving is very important for this person, and that they might sacrifice other areas of life in pursuit of a particular goal. Both of these people very goal oriented. So again, like I keep saying it, but yeah, it's very interesting energy, just because I can see how this could go so many ways. I am seeing this mainly like showing itself in a professional way, both of these people. So people who are very established in a highly respected position, or something that required a high level of study to get to that point. But it really doesn't have to be that. And at the same time, it doesn't even have to be that these people have already reached this level. This is like where these people are headed. And I'm probably seeing the version of them that they see. And that's what drives them both forward to keep like kind of chasing that dream. So if these people aren't actually established in this yet, this is just to say that both of these people have like big things coming. Big dreams are going to be coming true. Big accomplishments, a lot of respect, a lot of high level work, if that makes sense. But it doesn't even have to be that. It's basically just that whatever these people do, whatever, both of them, it's just crazy that it's both of them, but this is probably where they connect. But both of these people, whatever they do, whether that's, you know, some professional job in a high-rise building, or it's like raising children and homemaking, they take it seriously. They are great at it. They are the best at what they do. And like they, in the Emperor's case, is the ruler. Like the Emperor is the ruler in whatever scenario they find themselves in. They call the shots for sure. The Chariot person, they do all of this with a bit more emotion behind it, a bit more feeling. But they're still just so highly driven, destined for big things, if that hasn't already started pouring into their lives. This Chariot person is always moving forward, always on to the next thing, always on to the next improvement, the next project, the next idea to implement. Entrepreneur vibes coming from the Chariot too. These two people could work in the same field or in a similar type, like if they're both entrepreneurs but in different fields. But there's just definite leadership, boss energy coming from both of these people. But between the two, the Emperor, I'm getting more of that boss energy. Okay. Interesting. I think that these two people share a lot of the same goals. And if not the same exact goals, then the same type of goals. Like we're kind of already touching on, because they're both so driven. So that's something that they will understand about each other. This drive to accomplish, to succeed. And they're definitely very impressed by each other. This Chariot person looks at the Emperor and all that they've accomplished, and they are certainly impressed. And the same goes for the Emperor looking at the Chariot. These are, in both cases, like this Emperor would be proud to have this Chariot person next to them, proud to call them theirs, and vice versa too, because they respect each other a lot. Here's the thing. I am picking up on some amount of conflict, or like what would make this relationship difficult. I think that two highly driven people, it can be really hard for them to land on the same page sometimes. They're both off chasing their own dreams, and it can be really hard to make time for this connection. Now, that being said, I feel that energy coming more from the Emperor side than from the Chariot side. I think this Chariot person has the natural ability. I won't even say that they learned how to do this, because I think that they may just be naturally gifted. It's just how they were built. They have more of an ability to balance all parts of life. They can kind of reconcile the successful, driven, spiritual side with the, or I kind of said that wrong, but like the professional side, with the spiritual side, with the emotional side. They can kind of have all of those things living together at once. The Emperor finds that to be more challenging. So if the Emperor was really focused on achieving certain goals, they may kind of disappear sometimes, or make the Chariot person feel like they're not invested in this connection, because they are investing their time and their energy into other things, into goals that they want to achieve. It's just so interesting, because there is so much of this energy of like both of them are trying to achieve, but but they do it in different ways. The part I think isn't coming through, like the part of this connection where there needs to be some communication, or where something's getting lost, is I think that this Emperor person, although sometimes they can kind of just shut off, and they can appear to believe that everything else is more important than this connection with the Chariot, everything that they do is with this Chariot person in mind. And I'm just kind of sensing that that isn't a part of the conversation, that might not be known to the Chariot person. I think that this Emperor person has a life with this Chariot person on their mind more than they let on, more than the Chariot knows. Everything that they're trying to accomplish and everything that they're trying to establish, they're doing that looking forward to the future, and like imagining this life with the Chariot person, and it's like they're doing it in preparation for that. In a lot of cases, they might be doing all of that with no communication, so it could leave the Chariot kind of unsure of what's going on. But I really think that this Emperor person, there is a deep, okay, I know what it is. This is why these two are different. They're so similar, so driven, and so like destined for huge things in life, but there's a major difference here in the energy. And the difference is this Emperor person almost looks at these achievements as like defining them. It's like their self-worth is attached to what they're able to achieve, what they're able to accomplish, what they can provide, what they can supply. And this Chariot person doesn't feel so much like that. They do this for a different reason. They do it because they're passionate about what they do, or because, just achieving goals in life is just what they do. Like they just feel that they were here to achieve, to make things happen, to move forward, to evolve, to grow. They do it coming from that place of wanting to grow. And like I was saying before, they can kind of balance the driven side with the emotional side, with the spiritual side, with the mental side. They're better at balancing that, and they don't attach their self-worth to what they're doing in the world. But the Emperor person really does attach their self-worth to the 3D. So if this person isn't achieving, if they aren't, let's say, for example, if they don't have a fat savings account, then they think they're not ready for the Chariot person. If they didn't land that job, then they think they're not ready for the Chariot person. If they can't offer the dream vacations, or the perfect home, or whatever it may be that they think the Chariot person wants and deserves, they think they're not ready yet. And it also feels like no matter how much they accomplish, they still keep thinking they're not ready. And this Chariot person just doesn't think like that. And especially not about the Emperor. They think the Emperor is amazing. They think the Emperor has achieved so much and has so much to offer. And in reality, that's true. This Emperor should give themselves a lot more credit, because they have achieved, and they're always looking forward to what else they can achieve. So this is definitely a driven person. And even if they haven't made it yet, wherever that is, gosh, I feel like I have to say to this person, you're never going to get there. And I don't mean that in a negative way. I just mean there's always something new to achieve. And chasing and never being satisfied with what you have already brought into your life can be a really difficult and dangerous game to play, because it'll never be good enough. And I think that's what the Emperor is struggling with, the fact that it may never be good enough. And the Chariot person sees it for what it is, and sees that the Emperor is ready now and has been ready, and they would love and accept them as they are right now. This Emperor person is trying to prepare the perfect place for the Chariot person. And I just think, and I worry that maybe they're not saying this, which is sad, because that could leave the Chariot really unsure about where this connection is going. Okay. Yeah, there's definitely like some sort of conflict there. And I think especially because we're dealing with two very goal-oriented people, and two people who are really trying to make their mark in the world in some way. This can really be frustrating for the Chariot person, because I feel like the Chariot person is like ready to move forward, as they always are. And the Emperor person will kind of be hot and cold about how the connection is going to move forward. And that's so frustrating, because the Chariot person is like, I have stuff to do too. Like, do you realize that I have things that I'm trying to do too? Like, you're, I think they almost get the feeling that the Emperor sometimes thinks that whatever they have going on in life is more important. Or they might not be thinking that, but when they come into the Chariot person's sphere of reality, they kind of flip things upside down for them, and they kind of get them all shook up. Oh gosh, Elvis. They just kind of, they disrupt things for this Chariot person, and then they dip out, and then the Chariot is like, you know what, I had stuff I had to do too, and you just got me all off balance just to leave, or just to like not fill me in, just to not communicate. So yeah, there's definitely a feeling of that, and that's bound to happen with two people who are on this achievement path, because yeah, both people are really busy. And I think the Chariot person is like, can we get get to it? Can we get moving? And they don't realize that this Emperor person really does everything that they do, even when they are not showing up for the Chariot person the way that they would want them to. They're doing that with the Chariot in mind. They're doing that to prepare a place. Just the danger is they may never get to that place because they keep moving the target. And you can't do that. You can't do that. It's like if somebody said, okay, I want to, let's just use a silly example. I want to read 10 books this month. And then they read 10 books in the first 20 days. And so then they say, I want to read 25 books. And they don't even give themselves credit for the 10 books that they already read. To them, they just think, I didn't hit my goal of 25 books when they reach the end of the month and they only read 22. They think like they didn't do enough, even though to read 22 books in a month is insane. And that's how I feel like this person, like what they're achieving, what they're doing, it's insane. They are totally worthy. They're totally kicking butt at what they're doing, and they don't see it sometimes because they always move the target, and they think the Chariot person looks at them through that lens as well, like it's not good enough yet. And that's not at all what's happening. Okay, let's look at some more of these oracle cards. There's so much coming through for this connection, and it's kind of a confusing energy because these two people are so similar, and I don't even know if they realize how similar they are because they show up in such different ways. For the Emperor person, we have purification. That's such a beautiful card. And for the Chariot person, we have illumination. Okay. I think that this purification card for the Emperor is really just, like, you see how light and bright this card is. It's so, like, sunshiny. It's a sunflower. And I think that this person really needs to kind of, like, stop and smell the roses a little bit. Let the light in and look up from what they're doing every now and then to notice their blessings and notice their achievements and congratulate themselves and pat themselves on the back a little bit, because they are accomplishing a lot and they just don't see it for themselves. The Chariot person with this illumination, I think this is really about the clarity that the Chariot person has about this connection. In reality, compared to like a lot of the energies that I look at, both these people are really clear about the connection in reality. I don't think that the communication is that great. The Emperor might not be communicating to the Chariot person exactly what they're feeling or why they are doing the things that they're doing. But this is not a matter of like that the Emperor doesn't know how important this connection is. It's not that at all. The Emperor knows how important the connection is. The Emperor wants the connection. The Emperor wants to do everything to make the connection happen. It is the thing that drives this person the most is this connection. And they just aren't saying it for a lot of you. Like in your connection, it's not out there. But the Chariot person sees this clearly and maybe communicates better about it and is finding it easier to figure out how to move forward or to want to move forward with the connection. It's like they have more insight. And I think it's just that ability to balance all the things, to balance what's going on in the 3D with emotions, with, you know, busy schedules, emotions, and spiritual connections and all that. This Chariot person has more of an ability to balance all of that, and that gives them more clarity into what's going on here. So yeah, in a lot of ways, it's how they feel. And I don't even think it's necessarily true. They feel like they understand this connection so much better than the Emperor person does. And the Emperor person does understand this connection. They just, a lot of their actions make it seem to the Chariot person that they don't understand. That's really interesting. Let's look at the next card for the Emperor. We have Lemuria and that is creating heaven on earth. It's happening. Okay. Wow. Because that's what this Emperor person is doing. That's why they are working as hard as they're working on whatever it is that they're working on. They're doing it all to create heaven on earth, and really to bring that to the Chariot person. They're doing this to prepare a space that's like matching up with the vision that they have in their mind. And maybe it's taking longer than they thought. And that could really be what the problem is that it's taking longer. So they haven't communicated it. They haven't showed it yet. They haven't revealed their grand plan. But chances are it's not actually taking that long. It's probably this thing where they move the target. Whatever they thought would be good enough, once they achieve it, they think it's not good enough anymore. So that can be really tricky in terms of ever being there, ever arriving there. But I love how this card says it's happening, because this really tells me that the Chariot person, not the Chariot person, that the Emperor person needs to allow this to happen a little bit more. And with the Purification card, it's like step back a little bit and allow this to take place, because I think this is happening anyway. This vision that the Emperor has in their mind, it's happening anyway. It's unfolding, and they can take their hands off the wheel. They can take their eyes off the road for a minute, because it is going to unfold. And I think they've just felt like they couldn't do that. Like, I have to keep pushing. I have to keep trying. I have to keep achieving. It's not good enough. It's not good enough. And this really just comes down to this vision that they were given. This is their vision. This heaven on earth, it's their vision. It's what they saw. It's what they see for this connection. And now it's almost like the vision in some ways can become the enemy, because maybe the vision evolves a little bit, and maybe they never can get there because it changes, or maybe they think the image is much better in their minds than what they're seeing here in the 3D, so they just stay in a place of preparation and never really arriving. But yeah, I think this Emperor person needs to just let this vision unfold a little bit more. For the Chariot person, we have Priestess. How are you being called to step up and lead? Okay. That's really funny. Both of these people definitely would be well versed in leadership, but like I was saying before, the Emperor person takes on more of the lead, maybe because they're older, because they're more established, or just because of their personality, but they will lead more. It's like they're leading the direction of this connection, and the Chariot person doesn't always like where it's going. But we have to remember who the Chariot person is. If you think about the image of the Chariot card in traditional tarot, the Chariot person is the person holding, well, I don't know if the Chariot person's actually holding the reins, but they're in control of the chariot, of the direction that the chariot goes. And in this connection, I think the Chariot person feels like they are not in control, like they're at the Emperor's mercy. Like, what are we doing now? Where is this going? Are we talking? Are we not talking? Are we doing this? Are we not? Like, they don't know what's going on. And this card is really saying to the Chariot person, you lead. Like, maybe don't let them lead all the time. That could be an interesting dynamic to try to switch up if the Emperor has always been in control. But I feel like even if the Emperor doesn't know that they're in control, their actions, just what they choose to bring to this connection, puts them in control. It puts them in a place of calling the shots. And the Chariot person, you know, maybe sometimes needs to put their foot down and say, it's not going to be like that. We're not doing that. We're going to do something else. And that might just lift the energy a little bit and let it kind of move. Let the air circulate a bit, because there is kind of a heaviness that comes from the dynamic that's been established here. So yeah, maybe step up to the lead, Chariot, and call the shots sometimes, because the Chariot person sees it more clearly. So interesting. I'm so curious to know which side of this you guys resonate with, because this is really interesting energy. We have 2 more oracle cards to get into. So for the Emperor person, we got an animal card, and we got squirrel. So crazy, you guys. So crazy, because the squirrel card is like, you know, a squirrel like gathers their nuts. So this is about like collecting, hoarding. I feel like the camera's not focusing. Gathering like a stash, and I think that's what we were talking about with the Emperor. They're gathering, they're preparing, they're like hoarding a stash of goods, of goodies, of whatever it is that they think makes them worthy, makes them valuable, and will make them seem valuable in the eyes of the Chariot person. So yeah, that just speaks to that. They're gathering, and it's putting the connection at a bit of a standstill, because nobody can move forward, because the Emperor is trying to collect, trying to make themselves more worthy. And they just haven't come to the conclusion that they are good enough just for being themselves. The Chariot person sees that, but it really could be that in their lives and all of this accomplishment, this is how they felt worthy. You know, to do a particular thing or to have a particular thing is where they've drawn their self-worth from. And they have never realized they're good enough just because they are. They're special just because they're them. They might not realize that. Oh my gosh, you guys, I'm gonna cry. No. Okay, for the Chariot person, we got an environment card. Okay, so this is tornado. Oh God. Okay, so yeah, this connection kind of like spun things around a little bit. A big shakeup for the Chariot person, and I think it's a big shakeup for both people, but I think the Chariot person feels it more because they feel frustration about this connection, because they feel, again, like that I have stuff to do too. Like, I have stuff to do, and you come and you shake up my whole world. You do a tornado thing in my whole life, and then we're not moving forward. And I mean, that really just speaks to how powerful this connection is. And this really is powerful. And both of these people have the best of intentions. I promise you that. They have the best of intentions. They want to take care of each other. They want to love each other for who they are. And they have different ways of going about that. They just have some different ways of showing it. But it's beautiful, you guys. Okay, I want to get into like what your person wants out of this connection. So we're gonna grab some tarot to see. So we're gonna look at what they want out of the connection. Oh, my ring blew the cards. And also what energy they will be bringing to this connection in the future. So going forward, what energy they'll be bringing. All right, so let's first look at what they want out of this connection. Oh, cards coming out immediately. King of Cups. Oh my gosh. 5 of Swords. Okay, we got our 3 cards. They've got a lot to say. Okay, what this person wants out of this connection with you is love. I mean, plain and simple. 2 Cups cards coming out. King of Cups, the absolute master over emotions. I think they want to feel like they have mastered their emotions in your presence. I think they want to feel like they're in control of their emotions, and I think they want to offer you something very emotional, which is funny when I think about it, because what we were talking about before is that they want to offer you, I think they're so focused on what they want to offer you in the 3D. And that is kind of what's causing the problem, because they can be so busy and so driven with everything other than exploring this connection. But what they truly want to offer you is their heart, this King of Cups energy. They want to just pour their heart out for you and just sit there on their throne like this King of Cups and just offer it to you. And it's odd, because I think their way of doing that is to focus so much on the 3D and focus on what they can be, how they can make themselves worthy of this connection so that they can offer you that cup of love. And the Chariot person probably just wants the cup of love. So yeah, it seems like you are likely resonating with the Chariot person, but it could go either way. But it's like this person wants to offer something emotional, and they go about it in a way that can be difficult to understand sometimes. But yeah, that's what they want. Then we had the Three of Cups, so 2 Cups cards coming out. We had the Three of Cups come out, and that's like a really it's like they want to celebrate something with you. They want to finally bring the connection together in a way that it can be celebrated, and that the conflict can go away, because this is like harmony. They want that harmony with you. Definitely. I think it's so hard for them to trust it. Like, it's so hard for them to trust it, this Five of Swords. They just like don't trust that they are good enough, and that whatever it is that they're going to offer to you is going to be good enough for you. Okay, let's see what energy they're going to be bringing to this connection. Okay, 10 of Pentacles, 9 of Cups, Knight of Pentacles. I'm done, you guys. Goodbye. Like, I can't. Do I even have to? Do I have to? This is ridiculous. What are they gonna, what energy are they bringing? They're bringing all the right stuff. So honestly, this might be what this person's bringing now, but their way of expressing it is so challenging sometimes. But it's going to become more obvious, and it's going to become more steady, more stable. Maybe they will reach the point where they feel like it's fine and it's safe to bring this connection into fruition, because this Knight of Pentacles energy is really telling me this is something they've taken their time on. This isn't like they're just going to fly in and offer you a romantic relationship. This is the slowest Knight. This is somebody who is just almost crawling. Like it could seem so annoying, especially to somebody with Chariot energy, if that's the side of this you're resonating with. This could be so annoying that they're moving so slow. But the Knight of Pentacles, he moves slow because what he's offering is real. So it takes some time. Like this pentacle that he's holding out here, it's real. It's firm. It's established. It's a solid foundation is what he's offering. So it took him a little while to get there, but that's because he was bringing something real with him. So 10 of Pentacles is just the ultimate, having it all. And the 9 of Cups is a wish come true type of card. So whatever energy you've been wishing and hoping this person would bring to your connection, they're bringing that, and they're bringing stability, and they're bringing a solid foundation, and that might be what they've been working on. So yeah, I don't know what else to say. Like, I don't need to say anything. Do you see this? I'm going to leave it. I'm going to leave it alone because what more could we hope for? If any part of this reading resonated with you, please leave me a comment down below. I've loved hanging out with you guys in the comments. It's been so much fun to connect to you. Yeah, give me a thumbs up if you liked your reading and consider subscribing if you feel like doing that. And I will see you in your next reading because this is so beautiful. I don't know what else to say. So I'll see you later. Bye, Group 3. Hi, Group 4. If you picked the red calcite, this is going to be your reading all about how the person on your mind feels about you right now. So we're going to start this reading with kind of like a person A, person B spread. I'm not going to tell you which side is supposed to represent you. You can kind of decide which side you resonate the most with. It wouldn't be surprising to me if you felt kind of bits of yourself and your energy on both sides of this equation. And that really just says that you and the person that you're asking about have a lot of the same thoughts and feelings about this connection. So that's totally normal and that's common. So let's just jump right in and we're going to see the energies that are present in this connection. So for person A, we have the World Cosmos. This would be the World card. And for person B, we have the Magician. Interesting energy. The World is actually the last card of the major arcana, and the Magician is card 1. So in a way, we have like first and last energies going on here. The Fool card does not normally fall at 0, so that card would technically be between them. But in reality, the Fool card is a wild card and can go anywhere in the deck and can be either the start or the finish. But in either way, I think this is very interesting. The World card is number 21. That reduces down to a 3. So 3s talk about kind of like an initial achievement in something. They also talk about harmony, about wisdom, understanding. Definitely kind of getting the this is like there's forces at work in your life type of thing. 3s always represent that for me. 3s are very special to me. Number that shows up in my life a lot and has shown up. So 3s are very important, very special, and they really show that something is at work behind the scenes in your life. And I think with this comes a lot of, this is literally from personal experience. So I'm just going to say this in case you resonate with this side, because you might need to know. When you do have forces at work in your life and when you start to notice that, and a great way to notice that is to be seeing 3s everywhere you go and be seeing repeated 3s. There is an element of responsibility that you have to take with that. So when we do sense that something's working for us in our life, that things are going, things might be moving and shaking in our favor, or just plain old moving in some way that we want, there can be a tendency to kind of sit back and relax and like, let me see how this is going to unfold. And I think we do that because we do see something unfolding. That's what draws our attention in the first place. We see things changing. We get an inkling that something's going on in our lives, and we get excited, and it's like, finally it's going to happen. But please just know that with this, if you're experiencing this in your life, with this 3s thing, and with this feeling that something is changing in your life, there comes a point where you have to take responsibility for that, and where you have to start changing things in your life. It's great when forces are working for us. And I'm not saying that you have to take all the control, or that that things can't just unfold and work for you. But I am saying that when you get that inkling, when you know that, there can be a tendency to wait too long to just like see what happens. And in reality, that feeling of things working, it's more of like an energy that you're feeling. You're feeling the tide turn. You're feeling the current switch up, and it's an open door. It's an opportunity. It's like step through the door right now. We're here, we're working with you. Step through the door now. And when you're hesitant and when you don't take responsibility, like, I'm going to make the move, I'm going to do this thing. When you fail to do that, you're just going to keep getting the message over and over and over again, because things don't just happen completely 100% without us doing anything. That's super rare. A huge part of something can happen without us doing anything, but it's not highly likely. And I just say all of that just in case you're resonating with this side, because this World card, there's a definite energy of leveling up here, of stepping into the next phase of life with this World card energy. So if this happens to be the side that you resonate with, be prepared to step, like, do the step, because you can wait and wait and wait, waiting for things to happen the way that you want them to, and it's not going to happen without you making it happen. And sometimes the making it happen is simply you're making a decision, you're shifting something inside of yourself that makes it happen. But yeah, I'll just keep going, because we're already talking about the World card, so let's just talk about this person. So yeah, threes. The World card isn't associated with one particular astrological sign, but on the traditional World card, in the traditional deck, you'll see symbols in all four corners, and they actually represent all of the fixed signs of the zodiac. So those are Leo, Taurus, Scorpio, Aquarius. This World person may be one of those signs. Don't have to be, but maybe one of those signs. I think for me, what's most important is that it represents all of the fixed signs. So the fixed signs of the zodiac are the stabilizers. They are the things that, the signs that really solidify a certain energy. So this World person is a stabilizer. They are a stabilizing energy. They're reliable. This is somebody that everybody around them knows they can count on. This is a very reliable person. This is somebody who will see things through. They don't start projects and drop them halfway through. They see it all the way through. With this, and with any fixed sign energy, can come a bit of stubbornness. So this person might not be stubborn all the time. They could have certain things that they will really dig their heels in about, or maybe if they're stressed and tired and just kind of like bringing out all of their, in a position where they're bringing out all of their challenging personality traits, this is one that would definitely come out. This stubborn energy certainly is present for this World person. But really, and most importantly with this person, I'm picking up on a bravery. I think this person is very, very brave. And excuse me, I've been talking a lot and now I'm losing my voice. Let's hope I can get through this. I think this person has given up, sacrificed, risked a lot in pursuit of whatever it is that they're after in life. And I do sense that this is somebody who's very spiritually evolved, or is becoming very spiritually evolved and awakened with this World energy. This person is right on the cusp of making a huge transformation and like leveling up, like we were talking about. That's why I think it's really important to understand, especially if 3 is showing up as a significant number for you, to step into this energy, to kind of like flow with the tide of this level up, because this person's right on the cusp. Like there's this feeling of completion, this feeling of like doneness, and this isn't completion in total. Like we're never done. This person certainly isn't done, but this level is complete. Whatever level this person has been on is complete, and they are now about to step into a whole new cycle. And I think whatever that is, however that's showing up in this person's life, it took them a lot of bravery to reach this point. They may have had to walk away from from people or from situations in their life that brought them a lot of like comfort and stability, I want to say, because this is somebody who is showing up with this fixed sign energy. They probably greatly valued stability and comfort of just like kind of staying where they are. But the fact that they're now showing up as the world lets me know they didn't stay where they were. So this could show up in many different ways in your life. This could be a part of your spiritual evolution, your spiritual journey. This could be in your professional life. This could be in just kind of like breaking through boundaries. The world person probably likes to travel, has plans to travel, something like that. And so it could show up in that way, that this person breaks down boundaries and steps out of their comfort zone in a very literal sense, like travels to different countries or has plans to do so. But regardless of all that, I do think this person is on a deep and meaningful spiritual journey and has probably had to risk a lot and sacrifice a lot in order to pursue that. And maybe even in this connection has had to risk and sacrifice a lot. I talked a long time about the world person. Sorry about that. Let's move on to the magician. So the magician is number one, like we were saying before. Ones talk about new beginnings. They talk about unity. They talk about really the origin of all things, like the beginning, start. And ones can also talk about stepping out of your comfort zone. So that would be something that these two people have in common, because we were just talking about the world person potentially stepping out of their comfort zone in some way of their life to evolve in this way that now they're showing up as this spiritually evolved person. So this magician is, well, first of all, the magician card, again, isn't really associated with a particular zodiac sign, but it is associated with the planet Mercury, which is the planet that rules over Gemini and Virgo. So Gemini and Virgo might be important signs here. So in total, we have Leo, Taurus, Scorpio, Aquarius, Gemini, and Virgo out on the board, just with these two cards here. So any of those signs could be significant to you or the person that you're asking about. Let's just say this about this magician. This magician is a powerful manifester. This is somebody who manifests like crazy. Let me tell you, though, what is coming through in this scenario. This magician doesn't know that they are the magician. So this can be a little bit challenging because this is somebody who manifests kind of effortlessly, which is probably why they don't know that they're doing it. So this person has a bit of a like dreamy quality to them. They have a magical essence about them. And in a lot of ways, they might have an unconventional way about them, like an unconventional way of going about life. Definite difference in energies here is that this world person will take a more practical approach to anything, a more systematic approach. And this magician person will take a more, I guess unconventional is the best word. I want to say almost like feathery, flighty, a less direct path. I think for this person, it is a direct path, but they just move in a bit of a different way, in a way that could confuse a lot of people, in a way where sometimes maybe it seems like they're not doing anything, but they are doing something. Because as a lot of us know, manifestation kind of happens beneath the surface. It can look like the person's not doing anything, and then boom, something happens. So I think this person, that's kind of their way of operating. It's a bit unconventional. It's a bit raw and undeveloped. We're dealing with somebody who is kind of at the beginning of a cycle here with the magician, and then somebody who's finishing up a cycle here with the world. And I do get the feeling that the world person is a little bit more evolved when it comes to these spiritual matters. I think both people are highly spiritual and highly spiritually gifted, so psychic abilities may be present here, but I think that the world person is just more aware of it. The magician person, it just feels like it's more of a like a beginning energy coming from them. Like they haven't quite learned how to master their skill, but they are skilled. What I'm really picking up on from the magician person is that they haven't yet realized, or they are just starting to realize, that because they are so gifted when it comes to manifesting, which is really just pulling something out of the ether and grounding it down here on earth, they haven't really realized that they are so good at that. So they haven't come to the understanding yet that they are creating a lot of the things that are going on in their lives. That's not to blame this person, because we all have a responsibility to try to steer things the way that we want them to go. But I think that particularly for this person, because they are so gifted when it comes to grounding things down into the 3D, they need to be particularly careful about their thoughts and about their inner dialogue. And they maybe are a bit sloppy when it comes to that. I think that they are going to soon be realizing this, or they have already started to realize this. But it's challenging for this magician. It's really hard for them to break away. This is where it comes to them stepping out of their comfort zone. They find a certain level of comfort in being, I really wish I could word this better, but in being negative. Like in expecting the worst thing to happen and like affirming it, saying it. They find a certain level of comfort in that, and it's really a defense mechanism. It's really a way that they protect themselves, because if they say, oh, I bet, like, let's say they're in school and they have a test and they say, I bet I'm gonna fail the test. If they do fail the test, then they've already mentally prepared themselves for that. Or maybe something else that's like a bit more left up to chance, like I bet just anything, I bet something bad is going to happen, and then something bad happens and they go, see, I was right. And they're mentally prepared for something to not go their way all the time. And when it really happens, they think, well, see, I was right. And maybe they're not realizing how much they are drawing these unwanted circumstances into their reality. But this is something that the magician is going to start to realize, that they really have to be careful about what they're thinking about and what they're saying. So definitely from the magician, I have a feeling that something just went wrong in their lives according to them. And it might not be one thing, it might be a series of events, but this is basically somebody who feels like they're unlucky in some way. Like things just keep going wrong for them to the point that they don't expect good things. They don't want to hope for good things anymore. It seems foolish. It's almost like to them, they think that's a really immature and childish way to look at the world. Like they've become jaded is basically what it is. They think that it's smart, they think it's mature, and they think it's just part of life for things to suck, essentially. Which is really, really sad. The good thing about this is, although I am picking up on this energy and it doesn't feel great, it is an energy that I can feel shifting for this person. I can feel them like stepping into their true master manifester shoes and really taking this on and really noticing that they can bring great things into their life, and they can hope and trust and believe that something great is going to happen sometimes, instead of always preparing for the very worst thing to happen. I think this world person really went into this connection full force. They saw what was here and didn't hesitate. Again, back to this person's tendency or ability, maybe experience in risking it all in pursuit of something. This person has risked things. They've rearranged priorities. They've let go of connections when needed. So they were ready to do this. They have experience doing this. So they didn't hesitate when this connection presented itself. They went in, just dove in head first. They didn't want to wait any longer. And the Magician, who can kind of be like dreading this sort of thing, like I think that for this person, they've already been burned so many times in the past that they weren't enthusiastic. They weren't as enthusiastic about this connection, because to them, this connection was just another thing that could go wrong. It was just another thing that they didn't want to hope for. It was just like, well, this person, I like them, but they probably won't call me back. They probably don't want to see me. They probably don't want to date. They probably don't want to talk to me. Like, this is where their mind goes. This is where their inner dialogue goes. So although the connection is exciting, and although they want this connection, they almost want to prove themselves right. The same way they do with a lot of things. They want to prove themselves right, that it's not going to work, that nothing ever works, that, you know, it never works out for them. That's the inner dialogue for the Magician, or at least it used to be. I'll tell you this, the Magician sees this world person as their soulmate. They know that this world person is their soulmate. No doubt about it. And then at the same time, they're the type of person that would tell themselves soulmates don't exist. That's just fairy tale stuff. Because they have to jump to that negative place to prove themselves right, to not get their hopes up. That's what it is. They don't want to get their hopes up because they have been let down so many times. Okay, so this world person, they're definitely like waking up and evolving spiritually, and waking up to this connection with the Magician a lot faster than the Magician is, or they did wake up faster. Like, I don't know that this Magician is not awake at this point, or is not becoming more aware of what's going on, but they definitely are more awake and more evolved when it comes to this. I think they just have more experience in this. I think they have more experience kind of like taking the reins in a way, and like taking control. Yeah, I think that this world person may have had a bit more go right. And I'm not saying that like it came easy to them. I think that they have worked really hard and given up a lot to evolve. But the Magician may have felt stuck for a long time in a lot of areas of life, but just feels like things aren't progressing, and like things like it's really hard to get things to progress in their life, and to get this connection to progress, that's like out of the question in terms of how they've been thinking about it, because it's too good. Like, in their mind, it's too good. It can't be right. It can't be real. They don't want to trust again. I really think the Magician probably has some past relationships that really did a number on them and made them not trust and not believe in love anymore. But they do. Like, that's probably like, I think I'm like channeling the world person, because I think the world person knows this, and there is just like it is exasperating dealing with this, because they know that this person does believe that they do know, and they just won't accept it because they're so afraid of getting hurt. I think also this can put the world person in a place of like going back and forth between like, I know this is real and you know this is real, and then the next second they're like, am I making this whole thing up? Like, are we really having this connection the way that I think we are, or am I making it up? Because they seem like they're totally disconnected, like they are oblivious to what is going on here. But the Magician is not oblivious to this. And in fact, this connection is what is or what is going to trigger this person to get out of this negative cycle. And I think it might already be happening. It's just that they realize now that they have something in this connection with this world person that they want to think positively about, that they want to hope for, that they want to manifest. They want to do what they already do, but they want to do it in a way that they'll like. They don't want to keep expecting things to go wrong and having them go wrong. They want to bring this connection to life, and it's going to require a shift in their mind. So for this magician person, this whole thing is a mind game. The world person might not realize that because they're more methodical, and they wouldn't make this about a mind thing. They would make this about what steps do I need to take to bring this into existence. And the magician really has to get over their patterns of thinking. And they have to get over this self-fulfilling prophecy cycle that they're in. Because it's they just keep expecting it. They keep expecting something that they don't want as a defense mechanism. I think they're starting to come out of this though, but right now it might be a bit of a wobble, because I'm getting this feeling this magician, they come out, they bloom, they start to reach, they start to feel, to experience, to really step into this energy here and to step into their power. And then they shrink because they get scared. And then they come back out. And then they go back and hide. Because that negative place, that dark place, and that place of just expecting things to go wrong is safe in a way. It's safe for them because they're used to it. And it's safe for them because it protects them from a huge letdown. It protects them from rising up so high just to be dropped all the way down. It's their safety net. It's their parachute in a way. It's what they do to stop themselves from believing, just to have it not work. Super interesting energy. I'm going to get into more of your oracle cards. For the world person, we have simplicity. These cards really kind of mirror with the sky and this globe energy back here. Let's look at what we have for the magician. We have forgiveness. Okay. I think that to the world person, things are more simple. They're more straightforward. I think that it seems easier to them, especially if they know exactly what's going on with the magician person. If they're thinking that they can move forward or they can make plans, and that it would just be so easy to just plan to do this, just plan to connect, let's just plan it out. It's simple, but they don't necessarily understand that it's really hard for the magician to change what's going on in their minds concerning this connection. And really concerning a lot of things in their life, because they have this hurt that they can't get over. This may be something that the world person can specifically relate to, because they may have been in this place at one point. But this is somebody who's on the verge of leveling up, probably again. So they've dealt in these energies. They know what the magician is going through, and they've just overcome a lot of this. So they may understand, but at the same time, they see it as something that can be overcome. And it's hard for the magician to do that and to see that. Forgiveness coming out for the magician. So definitely this self-fulfilling prophecy, and the magician not wanting to believe that this connection can happen. And again, knowing the whole time that this world person is their soulmate, but just being too afraid to hope. what's going to happen here and what needs to happen is some forgiveness of whatever has gone on in their past that has made them like this, that has made them too afraid to hope for the best and to hope for a beautiful outcome for themselves, because they deserve this beautiful outcome. They just lost sight of that through everything that they've been through. They started thinking that they don't deserve it, that they aren't getting it, maybe even questioning if anybody gets it. But they deserve this. And they're going to start to see that, but they do need to let go of a lot of what has happened in the past. And once they do and forgive whoever has hurt them, they'll be more open to this connection. Okay, for the world person, we have Pillar of Light. Your vibration is rising. You are the oracle. Absolutely. Absolutely. This is, wow, I'm just looking at these cards together. This is what we were talking about. This is that next level that this world person is going to. All of these cards together just are so beautiful and are so, like, I feel like they're just telling their own story. But these two, this world and the Pillar of Light card in particular, you see the person here in this stance with their arms out like that is mirroring this person that's in the Pillar of Light card. This is somebody who's open, ready to receive, ready to grow, ready to expand, and to trust themselves. Like this card says, you are the oracle. This next level for the world person could very well be about them trusting themselves and their ability to like to know what is best for them, to know what, like tapping into, I think this person might be tapping into a lot of spiritual gifts and abilities, maybe some psychic abilities, like learning that they are evolved and that they're going to this next level of achievement when it comes to spiritual matters. You are the oracle. That just says it all, because I think there's a lot of inner wisdom here. A whole lot of inner wisdom, a whole lot of guidance. And they're bringing this to the connection here. Like they're bringing that inner wisdom and that guidance here. They know because they know. Which could, I guess, make it more irritating if it's not unfolding, because they know that this is right. And they are learning to trust themselves. They're learning to trust that what they feel is true. So going back to that energy of like, am I making this whole thing up? No, the world person isn't making it up. And I think they know that, but they'll still kind of wobble from time to time. Stepping into this new energy that they are growing into, they're not going to wobble. They're going to be questioning this connection a whole lot less, because they can really trust like what they're sensing, what they're picking up on. Wow. Okay. For the Magician, we have Unbound, releasing soul patterns, contracts, and past lives. So this is what we were talking about again with the forgiveness. There's a lot this person needs to release so that they can stop living from a place of fear, because that's what they've been doing. They're just living from a place of fear when it comes to this connection. And it's not even that they're afraid to love this person. I think they even know that they have the ability to love this person. They're just so afraid that this person's not going to love them back. They're so afraid that they might invest everything, all of their heart into this, and then be let down, because likely that's what happened in the past. Just be shattered. They don't want to be shattered. They feel like they can maintain some level of strength and like togetherness in the current state that they're at, even if it's a low level of operation. And they kind of know that, like, this isn't my best life. This isn't the most vibrant and beautiful life that I could be living, but it's better than thinking I'm going to live that vibrant and beautiful life and then being slammed down to the ground. So they've been kind of like staying small. But again, like we talked about with the Magician and the number 1 being about breaking out of comfort zones, that this person, the Magician person, is breaking out of their comfort zone of fear. The fear is so comfortable for them, and that's so sad, because they They have so much potential, and they're so powerful and so gifted when it comes to bringing beauty into their lives. They just haven't been able to see that for a while. And I think they are going to be able to see that again. And they're going to start drawing in all these beautiful and wonderful things. Okay, we have 2 more oracle cards. So person A got a color card, and they got double tap pink. They would look at their whole side, this pink color running through their whole side. And the Magician got an environment card, and they got river. Okay, so double tap pink is really, these cards are kind of hilarious. It's about validation. It's, you know, double tap to like this, to love this, to heart this post. So it's really about validation. It's about approval, and it's a confirmation. So I think this really talks again about this pillar of light, and about you are the oracle, trusting, you know, really trusting what you're feeling. So this world person's going to start trusting what they're feeling, trusting this, the truth of this connection, and not questioning it based on how the Magician person might be acting at any given time. Because I think the Magician person shows little glimmers of hope sometimes, and then they retreat back into their cave. So this is confirmation. This is validation for the world person that you can trust this. You can double tap this. Double tap this whole connection and what you think about it. You can trust that. The river card on the Magician side is this transformation that the Magician's going to go through isn't going to be a fast one. We kind of can already pick up on that, because this is like big stuff. It's heavy stuff. This fear, it's really ingrained in this person. It's deep in them. And this way of thinking, like changing our mental patterns, is kind of challenging sometimes. It doesn't have to be. So I don't want to say that. I don't really want to put that on the Magician, but it takes repetition. It takes commitment to do that. So the river card it's slow. It's gradual. It's, I shouldn't say slow. It's steady. It's gradual, and it's a patient kind of energy. So the Magician needs to be patient with themselves. The world person needs to be patient with this Magician, because they are going to have to kind of like rewire their brain a little bit when it comes to this. The good thing is that it is just their brain. Like, as hard as it can be to deal with a pattern of thinking, this is a person who has a great capacity for love, and who wants to love. Like, they want to believe, they want to hope, they want to go back to when they were a kid and they believed that everything was going to work, and that the possibilities were endless, and that their future was bright. They want to do that, and they will do that. They just need a bit of time to do it. So definitely the world person, if they could just like be patient. But I think for the Magician, this is an area of concern for them, because they don't know how long the world person will wait for them. And they don't necessarily feel confident about their ability to transform in this way. I feel confident that they will. I think they think like, am I even going to change this? Am I going to risk all of this? Am I going to step out of my comfort zone and believe in this? And I think they will. It will require patience on both sides. This is going to be steady, and that's good. Steady is better than stagnant. So it'll be steady improvement, and it might kind of flow and meander like this river is. It's not like a straight path to a complete change, but the change is coming. Okay. Let's look at some tarot cards and we'll like see what your person wants out of this connection, and also what energy they're going to be bringing to this connection in the future. I'll leave those there so we can look at who we're talking about here. This really is just a struggle for this Magician, to believe. And I think that's the only real challenge to this connection, because like I said, these two people are soulmates, and I think they're going to go far together. Okay, so what your person wants out of this connection. What does group 4's person want out of this connection? We have the 4 of Cups. Interesting. The 7 of Wands and the 9 of Wands. Okay, this is definitely interesting energy, and I think it really just speaks to like this, the mind game that's going on here. I think this person wants time to think about, to contemplate, and to figure out. I just get such a defensive feeling from this person. And I think they are defensive because there's a part of them that knows that they are like holding back. And they're so on defense about that. And they feel so trapped by themselves, by their own minds. It's really such a heavy energy. As I'm talking about it, it's just like such a heaviness in my chest. So in this feeling and just looking at how this is, I mean, what they want is to not feel like this. They don't want to feel defensive about it. They don't want to feel trapped. And at the same time, they don't really know what to do. They see you here offering this cup, and it's not that they don't want it. It's just that they don't, I mean, we talked about it. They don't want to reach out and take it. They're afraid. They're afraid to reach out and take it. They're afraid to believe that that cup is really there. And I think what they want the most is just to get rid of this feeling. To be honest with you, I want to get rid of this feeling. Like just tapping into this, it's like it's hard to breathe. It's very restrictive. They want to get rid of this awful feeling. And I think they want to have the courage to take that cup. But we will look and see what energy they're going to be bringing to this connection going forward. What energy will they bring to this connection going forward? It's also taken a little bit longer for the cards to come out in this pile. So that's just interesting to note because the cards were kind of flying out. I feel like that's just like the hesitance, just that kind of hesitant feeling that we're picking up on with this 4 of Cups. Okay, Temperance. We talked about, okay. Oh, okay. We had Temperance, the 6 of Pentacles, and the 6 of Swords. 2 6s there. Okay, we talked about this patience. Okay, so what energy are they going to be bringing to this connection? It's back to that. It's back to this. It's back to this River card. They're going to be bringing a steady energy to this connection. They're going to be patient. They're going to be steadily moving along, but not rushing. And look at the water here that's being poured between the cups. It's just like this river. So it's just a confirmation of that there's going to be steady work and steady improvement. And then this really, you guys, it's like, this is insane. And I feel like I'm just going to cry looking at this. And I feel like this has happened in so many of the piles. We have a generosity and an offering here. We have an offering of love, and we also have this feeling of moving away. So this is all completely, this is complete repetition. So let me get these cards back, because like we had with this person, we had the River, we had this Unbound, we had Forgiveness, and it's like these cards are just an exact repetition or close to what we already knew. This patient energy, this steady energy here with the River and Temperance, this generosity and opening up and like a giving. So they're going to be opening up and giving something to you. It's this feeling of unbound, something that has been bound up being released. And Forgiveness with this Six of Swords is the moving on. It is them releasing these past hurts and moving on from it. And where are they moving to? They're moving to the Magician in their fullest and most beautiful expression. They're moving into, stepping into exactly who they are. A real creator, and both of these people are creators, so really it could be either one. This World card is stepping into a new cycle. So I don't know, you guys. Oh, it's a lot, but the energy that they're bringing towards this connection going forward is really beautiful and really healing energy. Like, I think that you'll likely see a big change in this person going forward, and they're going to be patient with themselves, and you're going to be patient with them. I'm going to leave it there. This is a lot. If any of this resonated for you, please leave me a comment down below. I've been having so much fun connecting with you guys in the comment section. I love getting to know you. I love knowing what pile you picked. I love knowing if it resonated, so let me know. And if it did, give me a big thumbs up and consider subscribing if you feel like doing that. And I'll see you in your next reading, Group 4. Bye.